What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome to episode number 56 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. And we are on the fast track to Over the Limit. So let's take a look at the match card for this episode of Main Event. As we can see, Corey Graves makes his in-ring debut to the series. Well, his official debut, I guess we could say. The Divas Champion, Paige, takes on a former Divas Champion in Summer Rae. Alberto Del Rio picks up the victory over Heath Slater. Eric Rowan defeats the Great Khali, the Punjabi Playboy, the Punjabi Nightmare, whatever you want to refer to him as in singles competition here tonight. And in the main event, the United States Champion Cesaro will go one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. So let's get this show on the road. We're here in Boston, Massachusetts. I feel like we were just in Boston a couple of episodes ago, but I don't know. I guess there's just not as many I don't know. I never normally pay attention to the locations, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that to see how many locations there are for these arenas. But also another point I want to touch on real quick while I'm on my tangent. If you are enjoying the little music that I've added into the intros, you know, with where I showcase the match card and stuff. If you like the music, or maybe you want me to change it up at any point, I can always do that. But if you are ever interested, if you're looking for good copyright-free music for whether you're making videos or you just want to listen to some good instrumental music, be sure to check out the YouTube audio library. There's actually some really cool songs in there. You know, they're mostly just instrumentals and stuff. There's plenty of different genres in there, but there's some good music in there, and it's all copyright free, so it's really good for making videos and whatnot. I've been looking there lately, along with a couple other places for some copyright free music, and I really like it. It's got some cool tunes that I plan on throwing in for some videos. I know I used a different theme for Extreme Rules. I plan on using a different theme for each pay-per-view. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with the custom music like that for intros with a new series. But this year, I've already it's only got so many songs, and after a while, it just gets played out. And that goes for any game. The music will get played out. It gets old, you want to listen to something new, so I threw that new music in there. Probably going to do that for the rest of this series, and we'll see how it goes with 2K16. Yeah, because that'll be a new soundtrack, hopefully, and we'll kind of spice things up a little bit. But yeah, YouTube audio library, something cool to check out. And I need a new laptop. The battery on this one, it's almost getting to the point where, I'm at the point where the battery is, if I unplug my charger, the battery, it's telling me I need a new battery. And, you know, occasionally I can, take the battery out of the computer while it's off every once in a while, and then I'm able to charge my laptop. But at this point, the laptop, it doesn't charge, and it's plugged in, but it's not charging, and it's going to get to that point where it's not going to run on its own. It's going to have to be plugged in all the time when I use it. So I need a new laptop. I really need a new laptop. And I've been saying that probably for, I don't know, ever since I made this channel, maybe. Now, I don't think it's been quite that long, but I have known that I would need a new laptop for making videos for quite a while. That's why, you know, if you ever get to a point in my video and then my voice just randomly drops and it skips and whatnot, that's what it is. It's not the audio program I use or anything. It's just that my laptop, it's slow. In terms of, I guess, computers, it's old because I got this in 2010, 2011. I can't remember, but it's been, you know, several years. I had to see, you know, it might have just done that there. My audio might have just cut out, so I saw a video lag on the recording I'm watching. So sometimes I can tell when the audio is going to cut out, sometimes I can't. And lately, you know, it's just been doing this weird thing where I'll even be recording videos or just watching videos on YouTube or whatever, and the audio just cuts out and it skips. So it's for a few seconds. So I don't know, I can't really replicate it, but it just it messes up. So yeah, I need a new laptop. I got to start, I don't know, maybe when, you know, come 2K16, I might get a new one, but I didn't even talk about the match. God dang it. Corey Graves hits a huge backbreaker there. I've really been looking forward to Corey Graves' debut. This man is just all-around boss. And look at this. Lucky 13. The leg submission hold is locked in. And Santino, he's gonna tap out. He's got no choice. I am really looking forward to this man's rise to stardom here in the series. Corey Graves. Ladies and gentlemen. Corey Graves, I mean, I never really got to see a lot of his work in NXT, but just looking at his moveset, just his appearance, and I did see a little bit of his work in NXT. I saw his feud with Sami Zayn is mainly what I know of him. But Corey Graves, he just has that presence. He looks like he would be kind of like, I don't know, like a CM Punk kind of superstar. I mean, he's got that whole punk rock look. I just feel like Corey Graves has got that presence that a superstar needs. And you can see tattooed on his knuckles, "Stay down." Corey Graves clearly sending a message to the WWE locker room here tonight. And I'm really looking forward to this man's appearances, future appearances here in the series. Corey Graves, I hope he has a bright future in the series. Whether or not he's in 2K16, I'll be sure to get a created wrestler if I need to. Heck, I might even do something where I'll kind of, like, I know I posted this on Twitter, but most of my audience probably doesn't follow me on Twitter, so what I'm thinking about doing, let me know if you guys like this idea or not, or if you think, if you disagree with it, what your kind of suggestion is. But I was thinking with my 2K16 Universe Mode, I might kind of alternate back and forth between this year's game and... Well, this year, when I say this year, I'm referring to 2K15, and next year when I'm 2K16. So, if I kind of alternate between 2K15 and 2K16 gameplay, because, I mean, the graphics, can you really improve beyond this, at least at this point? I mean, I'm sure after a while, the graphics, there's going to be ways to make it better, but I don't really feel like it can look too much different in comparison. And, you know, it's just like how it was in previous games. The graphics weren't... It wasn't a huge jump. I mean, the console jump was going to be where the graphics really changed. So, I mean, it'll give me a wider variety of superstars depending on who's in next year's game. Because you got to think, guys like Justin Gabriel, I mean, Santino Marella, I highly doubt Corey Graves is going to be in 2K16 just because, you know, his injury, he retired. I think it would be cool if they did like an NXT showcase mode or something that included him. But I don't know. Don't know exactly how they would do that. But this way, you know, being able to jump between two games, it gives me a little more to work with. I can have you know, a larger roster of superstars, and that way I'll be able to, like I said, have a wider roster of superstars. I'll be able to kind of, you know, add a bit more variety to the series. And I mean, it's something I like looking back on it, I don't know why I never tried that in the first place. I mean, it's something that I don't think very many people do. It just kind of, I don't know, added a little bit of variety to the series. So let me know what you think about it down in the comment section, if you think that's a good idea, or if I should just stick with 2K16 gameplay for the 2K16 Universe Mode. I don't know. That was about it for that subject. So let's focus on the matchup. As we can see, the new Divas Champion Paige taking on Summer Rae here tonight. And Summer Rae, now she's, like I said, the whole build-up to Extreme Rules was the fact that Summer Rae was out of the Divas Championship can't speak. That Summer Rae was knocked out of the Divas Championship picture, and somebody else would get the opportunity to step up and face Brie Bella. And that's somebody, I mean, that was the opportunity somebody like Paige and Tamina Snuka could capitalize on. And that's how Paige, she defeated Tamina, and Paige is still undefeated. She's still going. Her debut to the series, she's probably been one of the fastest rising talent in the series to date. She's definitely been the fastest rising female superstar on the roster. But as I was saying, Paige, you know, she got the opportunity once Summer Rae lost at WrestleMania, and now Summer Rae, she, you know, the way it goes, when you lose a title, you gotta do a, bleh, I can't speak, jeez, why can I not talk today? But when you get knocked out of a title picture, when you lose your rematch clause, it really takes a lot to get back in the title picture. It takes a lot to become #1 contender again. But Summer Rae, she's got a big opportunity tonight if she could defeat Paige to perhaps line herself up for a Divas Championship opportunity. But Paige, on the other hand, a victory here will just continue her wave of momentum since she debuted to the series. And she can continue her destructive path now that she's won the Divas Championship. But Summer Rae now, off that forearm to the face, delivers a kick to the back of Paige. As Summer Rae perhaps gaining control, but Paige, she's going to turn things around. She's going to turn the Paige with a Paige turner as she hooks the leg on Summer. 2 count, and no, kick out by Summer Rae. Oof. Thought Paige might have had her there, but Paige, she's not wasting any time. You can see Paige, she's just a no-nonsense woman. If you kick out of the Paige turner, you're going to get hit with Rampage, and you're not kicking out of that. Paige, if she hits that Rampage, you stay down. As she hooks the leg, 2 count, Paige defeats Summer Rae in dominant fashion here tonight on Main Event. As Paige continues to ride her wave of momentum. And you gotta think, Brie Bella, she does have a rematch clause, but can anyone really stop Paige? I mean, I would have thought maybe Tamina was probably the biggest threat at this point in Paige's career, back on the Slammy Awards episode, where they were both undefeated. They both were riding a wave of momentum. I felt like they were equals at that point, but Paige, after scoring the win, it seems like Paige has just jumped far ahead of Tamina Snuka. Now that she's won the Divas Championship especially, Summer Rae, the former champ, didn't even stand a chance. Brie Bella, I don't know if I'm liking Brie Bella's chances heading into their title rematch. I feel like Paige, she could just be too dominant for any diva to really touch her. But we're going to move on to the next matchup of the evening, the main event for this episode, as it is the United States Champion, Cesaro, taking on Dean Ambrose. As you can see, I know I mentioned it, but at Extreme Rules, there was supposed to be new attires. That was really where I was going to start bringing in the new attires. But I even set the attires so that it would be the new ones for each match, but for some reason the game didn't accept it. It, rejected it. So none of the attires changed for the pay-per-view, which I don't know how that happened, why it didn't change for me, but, you know, now I got it all good. We're on to the next month of Universe Mode, and I was able to change up all the attires. You know, add a bit new of a, bit different, I can't talk this episode, what is wrong with me? But, you know, spice things up visually, I guess, to, you know, add some new colors, new attires to different things. Cesaro's finally got knee pads. Yes, he's finally got knee pads here in Universe Mode. It had been a long time coming, so it was about time we gave Cesaro those knee pads so he could not tear up his knees in the ring. But let's focus on the match at hand, as Dean Ambrose, coming off of that tag team loss against the Wyatt family alongside Seth Rollins, but the tag team tournament has begun. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they got their victory over Viva Perfecto, the now defunct tag team, it would appear, after the falling out Del Rio and Axel had on Raw. So the Shield move on to the semifinals of the tournament. So Dean Ambrose could really use a victory over Cesaro here tonight to try to help add some more momentum to the Shield's potential rematch with the Wyatt family, as the Shield, they had never won the tag team titles, and that could have been, I mean, this kind of proves that they aren't the same destructive force that they were prior to Roman Reigns being drafted to SmackDown. Without Roman Reigns, the Shield, they're just not quite the same. Ambrose and Rollins may still be equals, but you take away the man that's known as the powerhouse of the Shield, you really lose a lot of power. You lose a lot of your credibility. As, I mean, for a tag team that has been known as the most dominant force, perhaps in the history of the WWE, if you lose one of your most powerful members, it's very tough to maintain that level of intensity, be able to maintain that credibility as being the top thing, the top entity in the entire company, in the history of the entire company. That was perhaps something it was just, you know, the Shield at that point, Ambrose and Rollins, they were they were now sitting in shoes that they could no longer fill. They gotta temper their expectations a little bit. They gotta, I guess lower the bar a little bit. I mean, they cut once Reigns got drafted to SmackDown, perhaps their sights were set too high. But still, nonetheless, the Shield have looked impressive since Reigns has been gone. They just haven't been the same. Not to say that without Reigns, they're nothing, because that's far from the truth. The Shield are still one of the best tag teams in the business at the moment. But without Roman, are they really the best tag team? That's kind of where the debate lies. It's not to say that without Reigns, the Shield can't hold up, but the Shield has been around since basically May of last year. They debuted at the Over the Limit pre-show of the first year in Universe Mode, so it's really the cycle is almost kind of completed for the Shield. I mean, they made their way to the top. They reached the peak of the mountain. I mean, you could say when they defeated Team Icons at Survivor Series, perhaps even Triple H and the NWO and the Outsiders, whatever, the Authority at TLC. That was when the Shield, they kind of had reached their peak, and now it appears as though they're on the way down. As Cesaro, though, with a nice counter to Dean Ambrose. Oh, and he's setting him up, looking to finish Ambrose off with the neutralizer. And that could be it. Dean Ambrose, he's in trouble. Cesaro hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. That is it, folks. Cesaro hits the neutralizer. And that's good night, Irene, for Dean Ambrose. As Cesaro, he finished off this matchup fairly quickly in the grand scheme of things. And Dean Ambrose, well, I mean, coming off the match at Extreme Rules, the match on Raw last night, he's definitely dealing with some fatigue. And the same can be said for Cesaro. I don't think either man was really at 100% here tonight. So it's understandable that the match wasn't as long as we might have expected. But nonetheless, it was still a back and forth matchup. But that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for the next one. And until that time comes, keep on YouTubing.